The Northumberland Development Project is a project to build a football stadium which will replace White Hart Lane as the home stadium of Tottenham Hotspur. The stadium is intended to have a capacity of 56,250 spectators. The development plans were also drafted to include 200 homes, a 150-room hotel, a supermarket and a public square for community events such as ice skating or street markets. However, recently the plan for a 150-room hotel has been rebuffed. After an extended period of consultation with the local community, negotiations with Haringey Council and the Mayor of London, planning permissions were issued on September 20, 2011. In April 2014 the club announced that it anticipated the new stadium opening date to be summer 2017. As of July 11, 2014 permission of using the final site for the new stadium scheme following a public inquiry was granted by the Department for Communities and Local Government. Background: the club stated in 2007 that it was considering options for increasing stadium capacity involving redevelopment of the current site or a move to a new site. It advised in the 2007/8 interim financial statement that the preferred option would be announced in the first half of 2008, but later delayed this decision until the autumn of 2008. The club had also considered a move to a new site. One possibility for the club was to use the Olympic Stadium after the London 2012 Olympics. As this would have involved a move out of the Tottenham area and because the stadium was required to retain a running track, the club advised the plan was dropped. In November 2007 Tony Winterbottom, formerly of the London Development Agency, who had worked on development of Arsenal's Emirates Stadium, was reported as leading the development of the options for the new stadium. In April 2008 it was revealed in the press that investigations were taking place into the possible use of the adjacent Wingate industrial estate. If planning permission and the agreement of the current businesses there was granted, a €60,000-seat stadium could be constructed on the current White Hart Lane site. In December 2008, the design for the new stadium, by KSS Design Group and Buro Happold was revealed. A projected completion date was first announced in October 2009, when Spurs chairman Daniel Levy stated that Spurs intend to move into the partially built new stadium for the start of the 2012 Euro 13 season, with the final 56,250-seat venue ready for the following campaign. Subsequent delays relating to compulsory purchase put the completion date back to at least 2016. At the club's 2013 AGM in April 2014 the club announced that it anticipated the new stadium opening date to be summer 2017. Development project plans: the Northumberland Development Project covers an area of around 20 acres, bordered by Park Lane to the south, Worcester Avenue to the east, Northumberland Park to the north and the High Road to the west. The stadium will be built alongside the existing White Hart Lane and will be designed in such a way that the crowd will be close to the pitch in order to maximise the atmosphere inside the ground. It will feature a single-tier stand, similar to the Kop at Liverpool's Anfield ground. Tottenham Hotspur had originally planned to move into the new stadium, whilst it is partially built, for the beginning of the 2012 Euro 13 season, and the stadium would be completed by the end of the following season. Delays due to the need to submit revised plans and seek funding have delayed the project. September 2012 saw the start of the project with work on the site where a Sainsbury's supermarket will be located. The estimated completion date of the whole project was then anticipated as 2016. Spurs have not released the projected cost of the stadium, although it is estimated at around £400 million. Instead of maintaining the White Hart Lane name, the club plans to pursue corporate sponsorship of the stadium, with Spurs eyeing potential suitors in the UAE. As of May 2013 the plans comprise, stadium with a 56,250 capacity. Public square, located on a raised podium running from the High Road through to Worcester Avenue. Redevelopment of the High Road, with a courtyard setting for retained historic buildings and new landscaping in front of the stadium. 275 new homes, Sainsbury's supermarket with parking, with club offices above. A primary school run by the EACT Free Schools Trust in partnership with the Department for Education and the club. new offices for the Tottenham Hotspur Foundation, with state-of-the-art facilities allowing for even greater reach and impact. Club megastore and museum, together with a new ticket office and cafe. Copyright. A university technical college specializing in sports, science and health in partnership with Middlesex University was given provisional approval by the Secretary of State for Education in April 2013 and final agreement was reached with the club in September 2013. Plans for a 150-bedroom hotel with restaurant and skyline bar were dropped in 2012 in favor of increased commercial premises, homes and educational facilities. The club, which is a founding participant of the 10-10 environmental campaign, has summarized the energy-saving measures and other environmentally friendly elements of the project, which it claims will reduce carbon dioxide emissions by around 40% compared to current building regulation requirements and make it one of the most environmentally sustainable stadia in the United Kingdom. Project funding. On August 21, 2009, Tottenham Hotspur made a stock exchange announcement that it was issuing 30 million new shares aimed at raising £15 million to fund the first stage of the proposed development. The funds specifically relate to the professional costs required to advance the project to the point where a full planning application can be submitted. The club's major shareholder, ENIC International Limited, subscribed to take up 27.8 million of the shares. The club have also bid for an investment from the Regional Growth Fund. A decision is still awaited. On July 22, 2011, supporter groups supporting Our Future submitted a proposal for a £50 million funding initiative to Spurs to support the Northumberland Development Project by way of a community share scheme. This proposal was presented after polling Spurs fans on their views of the club and Northumberland Park development, and extensive consultation with the club, Haringey Council, and Supporters Direct. The club announced in April 2014 that it had divested some non-core properties to the west of the High Road relating to Phase 1 of the project to TH Property Limited, a subsidiary of ENIC, with the proceeds used to pay down debt secured against those properties. Application for planning permission. The club originally submitted a planning application for the stadium to Haringey Council in October 2009, with a view to starting construction in 2010. However, following criticism by English Heritage, and the government unregistered trademark advisory body on architecture, the Commission for Architecture and the Built Environment, and other conservation groups about the proposed demolition of listed buildings, in May 2010 the club withdrew its planning application in favor of a revised plan, which retained the listed buildings, reduced the number of new-build residential houses and improved the public spaces. On September 30 the Planning Committee of Haringey Council unanimously approved the revised planning application. Daniel Levy, Tottenham chairman, said, "In April 2013 a public inquiry was held about the last remaining property to be acquired and the club advised in April 2014 it was awaiting the Secretary of State unregistered trademark's decision on the compulsory purchase order." The Mayor of London gave his approval to the plans to redevelop the stadium on November 25, 2010. The club confirmed, on December 9, 2010, that the Secretary of State for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs had written to confirm that she did not propose to call on the planning application and that English Heritage would not be seeking further consideration of the listed building consent application for the Northumberland Development Project. The club concluded the Section 106 agreement with Haringey Council and planning permission was granted on September 20, 2011. Following the riots in the Tottenham area, other parts of London and elsewhere in England in August 2011, the Greater London Authority and Haringey Council announced on September 28 that it would relieve the club of all community infrastructure payments that planners would normally require, estimated at £8.5 million. And to provide a further £8.5 million for regeneration and infrastructure projects. As part of the agreement, an additional £9 million was also committed by the London Borough of Haringey to improve services for residents in the area. Reports that the development would not be pursued resulted in concessions by Haringey Council on the Section 106 planning obligations for the development. The initial demand of 50% affordable housing was abandoned while Spurs increased the number of dwellings to be created as part of the development from 200 to 285 market rates homes. The initial Section 106 agreement for a £16.436 million investment in community infrastructure was reduced to a £0.477 million. This is a controversial outcome, given the high levels of deprivation in Tottenham and the high levels of demand for social housing. As of July 11, 2014, a much-delayed decision by Eric Pickles, the Secretary of State for the Department for Communities and Local Government, was made. A compulsory purchase order was granted to include the last of piece of land, which prevented the further development of the Northumberland project and the planned new stadium for Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur issued a statement in which the club ensured that the plans for the new stadium had been optimised and future-proofed during the long process of granting the compulsory purchase order. It is believed that the decision from the Department for Communities and Local Government took so long because they were overturning the recommendation of the planning inspector and wanted to make sure that they got it proofed against errors and potential court unsettlement. The planning inspector recommended refusal of the compulsory purchase order because he thought it was unacceptable that the London Borough of Haringey had waived the affordable housing requirement in the original S106 agreement. Olympic Stadium site. On October 1, 2010, Daniel Levy confirmed in a press statement issued following planning approval of the Northumberland Development Plan the previous day that the club had also registered an interest in the Olympic Stadium site in conjunction with AEG, as the deadline for declaring interest was on September 30, 2010. The chairman explained that, on November 12, 2010, the Olympic Park Legacy Company announced that together with West Ham United, the Tottenham Hotspur AEG consortium were the preferred bidders to take over the Olympic Stadium after the 2012 Olympics. The OPLC advised that negotiations would proceed with both bidders and the winning bid would be confirmed in March 2011. On January 13, 2011, David Lammy, the Member of Parliament for Tottenham, threatened to take legal action against the use of name Tottenham if the club went ahead with the move out of Tottenham. The OPLC announced on February 11, 2011 that West Ham had been selected as the preferred bidder for the Olympic Stadium, subject to the decision being ratified by government departments and the Mayor of London. In a statement, Tottenham Hotspur advised that as the deal was not yet concluded, the club would continue to monitor the situation. Spurs then applied for a judicial review to overturn the OPLC's decision, however this appeal was rejected in June 2011. The Olympic Legacy Company announced on July 5, 2011 that an independent review into the awarding of the Olympic Park Stadium to West Ham FC was to be carried out on its behalf by auditors Moore Stephens. This was a consequence of the discovery on June 30, 2011 that an employee of the Legacy Company, Dion Knight, had been engaged by West Ham to carry out consultancy work relating to the Olympic Stadium without permission of the OPLC. The OPLC announced that Ms. Knight had been suspended whilst a possible conflict of interest was investigated. It also became known that Ms. Knight had already declared to the OPLC that she was in a personal relationship with the director of the football club. Meanwhile, Tottenham Hotspur announced it was seeking a judicial review of the decision to award the stadium to West Ham after the Olympics. On August 24, 2011, Tottenham and Leyton Orient won a review of the decision, being told that they had an arguable case. The review was due to take place on October 18, 2011. However, on October 11, 2011 the deal to sell the stadium to West Ham collapsed. On October 17, 2011 it was announced by the government that Tottenham Hotspur had withdrawn legal action seeking a judicial review into the handing of the Olympic Stadium to West Ham. See also: ground developments to football stadiums in the English Football League system, references. External links, Tottenham Hotspur future plans.